Welcome to Life's Questions, the podcast fueled by curiosity and wonder. I'm your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so grateful that you are here with me today. Let's get started with today's question. What are you excited to share? What are you excited to share? So, as you may or may not know, I took quite a break from the podcast. I still need to look back. I think it was 8 months, maybe less, something like that. It was pretty significant. But there were some insights that I promised on the last episode that I would share, as episodes, because one of the main reasons, that I have this podcast is because I love sharing what I've learned. I love sharing the questions that I ask myself, that I ask others, with you, because you might not have ever even thought about some of the questions that I ask on this podcast. And I think that is also kind of serving the way that I know how to be of service, which is to help. I try to help in the ways that I know how. So when I actually started to explore this question, I did it when I was trying to figure out if I wanted to restart the podcast or not. And it actually came from this book that I'm reading. And I just realized as soon as I tell you what the book is, you're going to stop listening to me and you're going to go check out this book, but that's fine. But the book is called Butter, and it is all about a female serial killer who lures her victims with food. Hands down. I'm like, oh my God, it's so good. But anyways, in the book, she is, before she was convicted, she was a blogger, a food blogger. And she's basically telling this journalist throughout the book all about food and just the way she talks about it. I'm like, I feel like I need to go cook right now. It is so enticing and so captivating and compelling. And it also made me realize that when you are a creator, or if you are just, working on a particular project, the more excited you are about what you're sharing, that's really going to pull through. And I think that's also to kind of tie back into last week's episode about what are you missing? I think that was also what I was missing, this understanding that I need to be excited about what I'm sharing. And now that I know that, I'm like, oh, I could share my curiosity all day. And hopefully, you get excited to hear about that. And it kind of, makes you think about your own life, because one of the reasons that I don't talk super specifically about my own life to, an extreme is, one, because I'm very private, but two, I want to pique your curiosity in yourself, not in me. I'm already curious. I want to pique your curiosity about what you're going through in your life. What are the things that you are excited to share? What are the things that your curiosity is leading you to? That's what I'm trying to get you to understand and really encourage you to do on this podcast. So as you're thinking about this question in whatever way works best for you, whether you're a creator or not, there are so many places where you can share the things that you're excited about with other people who actually want to hear about it. I am a very avid reader. I read one book a week, sometimes more, depending on how much time I have. And because of that, I'm very, very excited to share my thoughts and my questions around the books that I'm reading. So I found 3 book clubs, because I knew that those are the types of people that are actually going to care about the books that I'm reading, right? So as you're thinking about this question, also think about if there is an area where you feel like you don't have the support to share those things you're excited about. What kind of communities could you look to where you can kind of continue that excitement? Because sometimes it's very difficult to hold that excitement when you tell somebody else who could literally care less. It makes you feel a little bad. But I assure you, there are people that care and are just as excited as you are about that thing. You just got to find them. So that's what I had on my heart today. As always, thank you so much for listening. Please rate and review this podcast wherever you're listening to my words. And if this episode was helpful for you, please share it. And until next time, take care.